Hello and welcome. I am Rahul. In all ASP.NET MVC application we have created before this tutorial, we have seen passing hardcode data from a controller to view or view to model templates. But in order to build a very real-time web application, you might want to use a real database. In this tutorial, I am going to show you that how you can use a database engine in order to store and retrieve the data needed for your application. To store and retrieve data in this .NET framework, we can access a database within two ways. First is simply writing each class for models for table, and another is entity framework. The entity framework support a code first technique which allow you to create model object by writing simple classes, and then the database will be created on the fly from your classes, which enables a very clean and rapid development works. So let's go and start it. In this tutorial I am going to show you a simple technique for the database connection for defining a class and database. So let's flip to the Visual Studio. I am here creating a new application, new project, web MVC application. Let's give it a meaningful name. I am giving name as a database MVC and OK. So I am creating here an empty web application. So you can either create your database application with entity framework or database related class, which is straightforward for writing too much code. But entity framework is new approach created by Microsoft to creating a database related application. So our application is ready. So let's go and add one class within our application. So add models, add new class, and I'm giving name as student. So hit add, and now you can see here it will creating one class for me. Now let's create one database for our application. So let's flip to the Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. You can download Microsoft SQL Server within your computer. So here I am creating a new database. Right click on database, new database, and I am giving a name as MVC database MVC, and hit OK. So it will creating my database MVC. Now you can see here it will define a much layer for us: tables, views, cinematics, programmability. So here I am adding one table within a table. I am add few columns here. So student ID, integer, and not null. Here I am add this column as a add primary key, and define as a identity, which will automatically increment our value. So identity yes, and 1 So next column is name and varchar. I am add as a 25, not null, email, and varchar, and varchar 50, not null, and the last enroll. And let's add as an integer. Let's save it. I name it is a student. So our table is created successfully. Let's refreshing it. So you can see here our table is ready, student. So here I am adding a few default data, edit to view data. Name it is Rahul Jograna 07 at gmail.com, which is my original email ID. Enroll 101, second Vishal Vishal vj@gmail.com and 102 Nitin nj@gmail.com and 103. So here I am adding only a 3 column for our database. Let's show the data table. Select top 1000 rows, so it will returning us data which I have inserted within our application. So you can see here the rows are defined here, Rahul, Vishal and Nitin. So it is okay. Now I am creating a one stored procedure for retrieving our data within our application using store procedure. So go to the programmability, store procedure, click store procedure. I am removing it and creating a new store procedure. So create procedure, let's name as a student data has begun and end. So let's pass a query here. So select star from space and the name of table, the student. So you can see here it will display a student within our database. So hit OK, student. So store procedure is ready for retrieving all data within our students table. Let's executing it by pressing S5 or directly clear. So you can see our commands complete successfully. So now flip to the Visual Studio for actual implementation. So now we have defined within our student model class, we have to define a 3 property here, which our columns, tables and students. Our columns is our student ID, name, email and enrollment number. So we have to define 4 of that within our model class. So we can prop double tab and student ID, prop double tab string and name, prop double tab string email and last property integer and enroll. You can define any of property within any non bus. So this is done. Now we have to go to the actual implementation.